So welcome to my allotment. Today I'm going to be telling you of all the jobs you can be doing in June. It's an absolute hive of activity up at the allotment. You know, the sun's shining, we've had plenty of rain to keep the ground moist, so there's lots and lots of things you can be doing. It's a really busy, exciting time. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, if you could please do so, because you'll get lots of helpful hints and tips all throughout the year from my home garden, my allotment, and also my home kitchen. Now, like I said, there's absolutely stacks of stuff you can be doing. It's incredibly exciting because one minute the allotment is bare and there's hardly a thing there, and the ground is rock solid. The next minute we get a bit of rain and everything can start to go out. Now, it does all depend where you are in the country, but where I am there's no chance of frost. Absolutely not. So obviously do consider that if you live somewhere where you think there might be, but I know that where I am in Kent is absolutely fine. So I'm going to show you some of the jobs that I've been doing today and a few jobs that you could be doing also. So one of the things I've done today is I've put some lime around my apple and pear trees. I get something, and I actually can't remember what it's called, but it means that the fruit doesn't store very well and it often goes brown and has brown marks on the flesh. But if you put lime on it, then I know that really helps. So I do that every year to stop that from happening, and it really does make a big difference. So that's one of the jobs I've been doing. So as you can see, there's been a bit of weeding going on as well. We have a fork there and a bundle of weeds. So as we move down, we've put a bit of bark around the fruit cage area. Again, if that's another thing, if you've got time to do that, it does help keep the weeds down. You won't keep them all down, but it just saves you a little bit of work. We're quite lucky we get it delivered up here, so we use that for free. Something that's really essential is if you've got something like gooseberries, you do start to cover your fruit, because if I don't, I know that the birds will have these gooseberries and I won't have any for myself. Same thing with my black currants. While I don't need to cover my black currants yet, as soon as they start to get a little bit bigger, I will be covering my black currants as well. I use either the Enviromesh, or something I've started using a little bit more is the scaffolding net, which is really quite cheap to get, so I'll be covering my black currants with that. I ordered a big roll quite recently, and I will put a link in the description if it's something you wanted to get for yourself. As we move down, I will be harvesting my garlic in June, because mine is definitely ready. It does all depend when you've planted it. I planted mine in October, and I can already see that my bulbs are really quite large and big. So I'm going to leave them a little bit longer because we've had absolutely stacks and stacks of rain, and if I'm honest, it is a little bit early actually, but I think they're pretty much there. So I'm going to let them absorb some of that lovely rain and hopefully puff out a little bit more, and I will be digging mine. But I won't just dig them without looking properly. If you can't see the tops, just gently ease one out to take a look if you get tempted. But like I said, I'm still going to leave mine in for a couple of weeks. So I've been doing plenty of digging, so everywhere on my allotment is pretty much now dug over, bar one tiny little strip there. We've had lots of rain, and I would suggest if you've not dug your allotment over already, I would be digging it now, just in case we do get another dry patch, and it makes it really hard to dig if we get another dry patch. So weeding is obviously very essential. I do need to do this little bit here, although I've been keeping it under control. You do get the odd weeds that grow, and you don't want them taking all the nutrients and all the water away from your lovely plants. So as we move down, you can be sowing seeds, which I have been sowing. I sowed these ones a few weeks ago. I've got some carrots, some lettuce, some beetroot and some parsley in there, and if you think if yours have already come through and they look a little bit too thick, you can start to thin them out if you want to. So that's another job you can do. And you can also be sowing more seed. It's a great month to be sowing seed because everything germinates really quickly because it's really warmed up. So I've put some more carrot in. You could also be putting in some radishes, you could be putting in parsnips, spring onions. You know, there's lots of things you can be planting now, which will get off to a really good start now the weather has warmed up. So the potatoes, if you've not been earthing up your potatoes, it's worth earthing them up. We've been earthing ours up. We've also been putting a bit of grass clippings on them as well, which we've been told is really good. So we'll see how that happens, because quite often you can only earth up so much. I don't know about anyone else, you find that you run out of earth to keep putting on them. So to get something else, which is waste material anyway, and will help keep the moisture in, and we thought we'd give grass a go. So something else I've been doing, and you can be doing too, are French and runner beans. Now my French beans are at home, but my runner beans I've got up at the allotment. So if you've started some off or you've bought some from a garden centre, you can be planting those out. I've sprouted mine, so mine are actually in the ground, my runner beans, and they will come up, and you could do that too. I often don't start them off in module trays anymore. I just sprout them at home. I have got a video for that if you're not sure how to do it, and then I just drop them into the ground and just let them grow. But it's up to you. It's really up to you. So something else I'm going to be getting out really soon are my squashes, courgettes and pumpkins. I'm going to be getting out this month. So I've started mine off at home, and over the next few weeks I'm going to be starting to plant these out. If you've not started any off, I would get on it quickly, because you need to be getting them in the ground as soon as possible, or just go to a garden centre and source some really good plants. I've put my canes out ready for where I'm going to be putting them. One, to make sure I space them out properly, and two, when you pop a cane in, what you don't realise is that it's really awkward to water squashes and courgettes as they get bigger, because you can't find the centre of the plant if you're like me and you plant lots of them, because they all seem to like mulch into one. So if you put canes in now, and plant obviously each plant next to each one, you then know where to water, and that's really handy as the season goes on. And when you're struggling to get enough water and you have to water everything if it's a little bit dry, it's just really jolly handy. Or if you want to feed your plants with a liquid feed or something, you know, you then know where you're directing it to, so it's actually going to your plant and not just the ground in general. So something else you could be planting out or starting off is Bright Lights chard. So I started these off in module trays at home, and I've actually been picking the leaves already at home, but now I've decided to put them out. So again, you could direct sow these into the ground or start them off at home in module trays. It's completely up to you. I do net these because last year I put all my little lovely plants out and the birds had a go at them, and although most of them did recover, it's quite disheartening to put your plants out to come back and to see that they've been completely massacred. So again, I'm using a little bit of that green scaffolding net just to temporarily put over them. I won't leave it over them permanently. It will just be while they're quite small and delicate, and then I'll take it off and they won't need to be covered. So like I said, if you do want to get any of that, I will put a link in the description, because it is something that is really useful to have. I've also got out some more of my brassicas. So again, some of my brassicas I started off myself from scratch, others I sourced from good garden centres. So I've got a mixture of both in there. So again, if you've not got your brassicas out, now's a really good time to do them, and really important that you do cover these for the same reason. The birds will have them, but also the white cabbage butterfly will also have them as well. So it's definitely, you must cover your brassicas, unless you know you've got a home garden and you're close to them and the birds won't come near them. But I know that if I don't cover my brassicas, then the birds will absolutely attack them. So the other jobs you can be doing, and these are the things that I've got at home, are my tomatoes. You obviously need to keep taking out the side shoots. You can start feeding your tomatoes now if you haven't already done so, and also looking after your strawberries. So both your strawberries and your tomatoes need regular watering if it's not raining, especially if they're in pots, because even if it rains, often the water doesn't go into the pot sufficiently enough. And to keep your strawberries covered from the birds, again, because the birds will have them before you do, and be on slug patrol with your strawberries as well, just to make doubly sure that nothing else gets them except you. So I really hope that my jobs for June have been useful. I'd love to hear what everyone else is doing, any tips that you've got, any tricks of the trade when it comes to slugs and birds and all those other pests that we're all trying to get rid of naturally if we can.